Bad news, everyone. We have officially received the notice that Titus Akeru, the 6th fastest marathon athlete of all time, has officially received a 10-year ban, which means he will not be eligible to compete until 2032. And this is because the 10-year ban dates back to 2022, not this season in 2023. Now, we went over this in a previous video, but I wanted to update you guys because this really showcases a huge problem when it comes to using therapy use exemptions in your medical history. Now, a therapy use exemption, or a TUE, showcases people that need certain types of treatment in order to basically survive and live a normal life. And this can include various types of topical creams for certain types of diseases. It can include inhalers for asthma, things like that. But when this becomes abused is when we really start to get into troubling areas. Now, the issue that was going on here with Titus Akeru, a 2-hour, 2-minute, and 57-second marathoner, is that he was saying that he had a therapy use exemption, which would make sense because if you test positive for trace amounts of illegal substances, this TUE would grant you the ability to use it. That is, until we found out that he was lying. Apparently, back home in Kenya, Akeru was conspiring with a medical doctor in one of his hospitals, and basically, he was tampering not just with medical records, but with receipts and other medical documents saying that he did in fact have this issue, but it turns out this was all a complete fabrication. Imagine taking an illegal substance, lying for years about the issue, and then finding it in yourself to go to a hospital, conspire with a doctor, and basically make up a completely false medical history. This is a huge problem, and it makes sense that he's being banned for 10 years, because if you basically come out and tell the truth saying, yes, I used it, I'll take the ban, you'll probably be banned anywhere from 2 to 5 years, something like that. We've seen this with many different athletes who do plead guilty for their issues. But when you lie for years and years and get caught, the ban is much more severe, and 10 years is basically a death sentence to your professional athletics career, so I highly doubt we will see Titus Akeru ever hit the roads again, at least in a legal way. So I can only imagine that his career in running is all but over. And I'll make sure to leave a link down below to the actual articles stating what actually happened, because the more and more that you read about this medical history and this document falsification, you realize that this probably happens more than we actually realize. Some of these documents appear very legitimate, and they go into extreme detail about what his history is, and it actually raised the question in my mind, how did the World Athletics Integrity Unit actually figure this out? How deep did they need to go in order to locate the falsifying areas and the actual lies about his medical history? Hopefully this kind of thing can result in fewer people looking to do this kind of lying, and it can also result in more clean sport down the line. And I just find this entire situation extremely sad, because at one point we saw what looked like the next great marathoner. Running a 2:02:57 makes him one of the very few athletes in history to break 2 hours and 3 minutes. And yet, it really does appear as though it was all a complete fabrication. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the backdating on this goes, because on World Athletics, he is still ranked number 6 all time, tied with Dennis Kimetto, just under 2 hours and 3 minutes. And apparently the backdating of this illegal use does not take away this marathon. It basically just takes away any races after this number 6 all-time performance. So it's a little bit confusing as to exactly why this time is still on there. I'm not entirely sure if they need more proof as to how far back his lying goes. But either way, a 10-year ban, an entire decade, is brutal. But it's also a good thing, because the less athletes that are cheating in the sport, the better as far as I'm concerned. And now I would love to hear what all of you have to say on the matter. What do you think about this insane situation? What do you think about medical record tampering? And how much do you think this actually goes on in your everyday athlete across the globe? Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, until next time.